Hey everyone, it's Kyle from Cool Collectibles back again for another review. I know it's been maybe 2 or 3 months now since my last video review. Things have slowed down quite a bit this year just for a whole bunch of various reasons, but I am starting to get some figures in that aren't just the standard sort of Lego sets. So this Storm Collectibles Gatchaman figure of their leader Ken has just come through from Big Bad Toy Store. So here it is straight out of the box. So I'll just give you guys a quick look at all the accessories and so on that it does come with. I'll go through each in more detail in a little bit, but there's the box at the back there, so I'll probably just get all of this stuff out of the way and give you guys a closer look at everything. Hold on. Alright, box art wise, Storm always normally do a pretty good job, and I do like the way they've done this particular box as well. I do like the sort of shot there with the artwork that's pretty reminiscent for the anime cartoon. I grew up watching Battle of the Planets, which was the sort of sanitized American version and not the real Japanese Gatchaman version, which I've seen a few clips on YouTube. Did have a few more action sequences and a bit more violence and so on. So I might go back and see if what differences there are. So you can see some of the artwork there. Love that sort of stoic look there, and some nice shots of the figure there with all of the different poses and so on. So great work there. I do like that they included in the box this sort of space starfield sort of backdrop. Which does go nicely if you want to take some photos with the figure, so I'll be keeping this just for the odd background. But now I'll go through each of the accessories. Alright, you'll notice that before when I had the figure I had no cape on it, and that was for good reason, which I'll go through in a second. It does come with 2 different variants of the sort of wind splayed out look. And the stoic look, and I think that sort of points to my biggest gripe with the figure, in that there is no soft goods or fabric material for a swap out cape. These sort of molded soft plastic capes are pretty good for the odd photo opportunity, but beyond that they are pretty much a pain in the ass. They are quite heavy, particularly these 2 large ones, and they don't really sit on the figure very well. The biggest gripe for me is the red paint on the inside. Absolutely scuffs up the shoulders and the neck of the figure itself. The first time I tried to put this one on, for example, I scared the crap out of myself because all the shoulders ended up with the red paint on them. So I had to spend quite a bit of time just gently rubbing the paint back off. And I've managed to get most of it off, but it really isn't worth the effort. So it's unfortunate, because I was going to use this one because it does look pretty good on the figure. If I just show you just quickly. So you just put it on like that. It does look pretty good on the figure, just in a sort of static pose. With the wings splayed out like that. So I was hoping to display it like this, but wherever it touches the shoulder, it will leave the red paint on there without a doubt. I tried having it not, but every time you move the arms, it just rubs and rubs off. It would have been nice if the cape sort of sat, if I show it from the side, that it sat like that, but because the cape's so heavy, it tends to lift up like this, which leaves that weird gap at the front, and it just doesn't look that good. So I mean, if I do decide to display it like this, I might somehow jam a tissue or something at the back there to keep it raised up, but I'll have to see how I go once I get it sort of posed up and on display. But it does come out of the box with this sort of static pose thing, so it just sort of looks like that, which is pretty good, but doesn't really call out anything special on the display. So I was hoping to use the other cape there. So again, just be very careful if you've got the figure on the white here, particularly when you're using the capes, because I had to spend quite a bit of time rubbing it off. Thankfully, the white paint all over the body is pretty good, and it didn't sort of rub off when I was trying to rub off the red paint just with a towel and some water. So hopefully it stays like that, but that's pretty much it for the capes. I was hoping for a fabric cape, which does remind me I was going to get the previous Sentinel figure that I've got that does have a fabric cape, so I might grab that just for a side-by-side comparison a bit later. But now with the capes out of the way, I'll go through the other accessories. Right, head sculpt wise, it does come with 2 swap out head sculpt. It comes with this one here, which is the stoic look, so his mouth is closed, and the alternate is pretty similar, but comes with his mouth slightly open, if you can just see it under the visor there, with a bit of a snarl. So I do like this one. I might swap it out for that. I think you can take the visor off if you just gently pull that off, but you do sort of see some of the edging, which I guess it's hidden in shadow most of the time, so you get a better look at the face there. I'll see if I can try it on this one. So you sort of get a bit better feel for his snarl there. So they do look very accurate to the cartoon. So I do like that, but I don't think they ever had the visor off in the cartoon, so I'll just keep those on before I lose them. Paint application wise on the visor, or the helmet, not too bad. I've seen some that are better than others. For the most part, mine seems fairly clean. I would note that I have seen some lose this or break this off, so be very careful with the antenna or whatever that is at the back there. But overall, I think they've turned out pretty well. There are 4 swap out pairs of hands. So you get pretty much the same on both sides. You do get this sort of batarang holding hand, which works pretty well, and I might actually end up using this just to have him holding that in display. But the other ones you get, the typical sort of finger pointing. What else? Sort of relaxed hand, and then there's, I think, the sort of force sort of waving type hand that you typically get with these figures. But that's pretty much it from the hands and the accessories. So with all of that out of the way, I'll give you guys a closer look at the body. All right, body wise, I really do think Storm have their tech down pat, because following on from the Street Fighter 2 figures that I've got, I think they've done a fantastic job overall with the body itself. I have heard some people complain about the proportions of the body here, that it's too thin. I'm not quite sure why that is, because the whole team was thin. I was actually hoping or worried that they were going to make it too stocky. I think their original Ultra Street Fighter 2 figures with Ryu and Ken were overly stocky. I think they fixed it with the likes of Guile and Sagat and so on. And I was really hoping they weren't going to make these too chunky, and I think in the end the proportions to me are pretty much perfect and aligned with what I remember from the cartoon. And the way they've used their soft material, their vinyl or whatever it is, some sort of plastic around the torso here, is really nicely done. It gives that full sort of give in the butterfly joint, the arms. There's lots of range of motion that you would expect from a figure of this sort of price range. Paint application wise, everything, particularly in the logo there, is nice and clean. The Gatchaman logo there, nice and clean. So I really can't complain too much at all about it. The white, I think, stands out really nicely. It's a matte white. Pretty much the whole figure is matte. So I guess with that matte paint, there are areas that might be prone to rub. So I'd be very, very careful there. I already have some seen, similar to some of the other figures that have these knee joints. Because the joints are so tight, it starts to rub at the paint there, right at the top. But in other places, it doesn't seem to be too bad. So just be careful as you go along. The articulation-wise, the typical bicep swivel there, double jointed elbows. It's got the nice little watch there. The wrist peg. Do be careful with the ankles here. They are a little bit tight, and the rocking action isn't sort of as flexible as some of the other sort of SH Figure Arts figures. You do need to sort of rotate and then sort of bend to get that rocking motion. So just be careful how you sort of manipulate the figure in case you snap that bloody peg off. The other thing to be aware of, I think, with the legs here, this whole sort of crotch piece is a soft plastic again, and as you were seeing before, that this part in particular for some reason sort of gets hidden or jammed under there. So just if you've got a little sort of soft tool like this, if it does get stuck, I sort of just jam the tip in there and then just pry it out. But once it's all sort of set up, it doesn't look too bad at all. And I do like that it's this sort of softer thing, so it doesn't really hinder the articulation too much, but you can get it into all sorts of wide and dynamic poses, and you can hear it sort of squeaking there because it's still a little bit tight. But I think you'll be able to get that into quite a lot of action poses. The only thing hindering the action pose to me is those bloody massive capes and the paint rub. I went back and looked at some of the earlier blogger photos, and you'll see that when they posed it up, all of their shoulders are sort of covered in red. So just be very careful there. And I was showing there that you can get the waist swivel, and this whole top portion you can sort of move around as well, because it's got that soft sort of plastic there. So it's very similar to their Street Fighter figures that I've got, just on a slightly smaller sort of version for this sort of thinner character. But that's pretty much it for the body. To finish up, I might go grab the previous Sentinel figure and give you guys a side-by-side. Hold on. Alright, so here is the Storm Ken Gatchaman figure next to the two previously released Sentinel figures. Very different in design, style, manufacture. The Sentinel figures here have a lot more die cast. Their legs, feet, etc. There is die cast metal in there. They are a more stylized version of the characters, and they are the only two characters of the team that they made. They didn't complete the team, unfortunately. And as you can see, the Storm figure, just to keep that friggin' cape on, I've had to lean it quite a way forward just to stand up. So if you're going to use that cape, you're definitely going to need to have a stand of some sort to stabilize it, which is unfortunate. But I do like the larger scale of the Storm figure. It's probably more accurate to a 6-7 inch scale figure, and I think it does reflect the cartoon, original anime cartoon from the 70s and 80s and so on, much more accurately. So I'm glad to have both in the collection. I was thinking of whether or not to get rid of or sell the Sentinel figures, but I might hold on to them actually. And hopefully Storm announce more of their series. I think they did do a teaser for Princess, or June, I think the Japanese name is. So hopefully they announce her for pre-order soon, and actually get to doing the rest of the team in 2024. It would be a real shame if they didn't complete the team. But overall, I think it's a fantastic looking figure. I'm definitely glad to add it to the collection. It's just now pretty much a judgment call on how the hell I'm going to display it in the cabinet. I might have to stick with the Stoic cape. You probably can't even see from here, but to keep the cape down, like I was saying before, or at least flipped upwards so it sort of covers this gap here, I have had to put a little bit of tissue jammed up underneath his back there, which is unfortunate, and it is way too top heavy, so leaning forward like that does look pretty stupid. So I'll have to see if my wife or anyone else has the skill to make a fabric cape for me. The Sentinel figures here, their cape, while not the best sort of style, at least was a fabric one, and at least gives more focus on the figure's body and so on, where if there was a fabric cape for the Storm figure, it would open up a lot more options for posing and display. But that's pretty much all my thoughts on the figure. Hopefully you guys like my thoughts, and can subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for upcoming reviews. I do have the Hot Toys Marty McFly from Back to the Future 3 coming, and hopefully Doc Brown not far behind. So hopefully you can stick around for all of that, and until next time, thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.